What's up, everybody? I hope everyone is having a good night. I hope everyone's having a good week. We're all almost through the week. It is Thursday night. We have one more day, and then most people get to relax, chill out, and have a weekend. I am on a new mic, so if anybody can just give me like a little thumbs up that sounds all good. I am still kind of opening some stuff that I want to talk about. So what I do want to make sure everyone knows is that this is not really in any relation to the state of play for that PlayStation and Sony did. What was that, Tuesday night? This is more something that I kind of wanted to do for probably about couple months now. I've been really disappointed in just the lack of fun video games in really like the last almost decade. What's up, Crimson Law? How you doing, man? I we see little, I guess they're technically memes that pop up every now and then. They're like, oh my god, nothing ever hit as hard as video games in 2008 or 2009. And I want to pull. We'll see if I can find those memes that I'm talking about. Hang on, I forgot the word game. Video game meme images. Excuse me. Okay, so here's a great example. Okay, this is supposed to be a bunch of video games from 2008. It's possible some of these are not going to be 2008. I'm not going to fact check a bunch of memes, but let's look at this and kind of lay the foundation for where I'm going with this tonight. Crimson or anyone else that's watching, if anyone wants to hop on and kind of talk about this with me, just DM me in Discord or send me a tweet. So this is a meme talking about the video games that came out in 2008. So let's look at this. Fallout 3. I never played the Fallout games. I wasn't a very big fan of the play style. I don't really like having or selecting where you want to aim. I feel like you should just aim. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Wasn't a fan of that one. I think Melee. Honestly, I still to this day think Melee is the best one. Left 4 Dead. Far Cry 2. Grand Theft Auto 4. Dead Space. Fable 2. Where else are we? Call of Duty World of War. I mean, talk about a juggernaut of a game. Here, Crimson, let me send you a link, my good friend. There it is. And look at that. Enter. But hey, Crimson, mic sound good and everything? Again, just kind of want to make sure new mic doesn't that I don't sound like I'm eating it, basically. I'll wait for him to hop in before I really kind of move on. But I mean, let's keep looking at Battlefield Bad Company. Like, that was a great game. I remember the second one, and then it led into 3 and 4, which were incredible Battlefield games. You got Rainbow Six Vegas 2, which was awesome. Rock Band 2. I mean, holy shit. Rock Band 2 was so much fun. Rock Band 2 and Guitar Hero 3. Loved them. I didn't play the God of War games. I know a lot of people love Gears of War. I tried to play the first one a long time ago. I may end up playing them one day. But I tried to play Gears of War a long time ago, and because you couldn't play it like you could Call of Duty, I wasn't really interested in it. But its game style has definitely grown on me. And of course, Mario Kart Wii. So we've talked about what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games. What's up, Cheese Miser? It has been a long time. How are you doing, dude? What did I say? 14 games of this 5 by 5, 25 of these 25 games. And these aren't even all the games that came out in 2008. But there's 14 of those games that anyone that, for the most part, has played video games probably has fond memories about. And here we go. Crimson Law. What's up, buddy? Been a while.
Oh. Nothing much. Oh. Yeah, it has been a while.
There we go. Yeah. So I'm sitting here real quick. Hang on. Choose Miser. I'm doing pretty good. Work's been good. It's been crazy now that we're heading into the end of some of our builders' quarters. So it can be crazy, but I'm having a lot of fun. Well, I don't want to kill. I almost said something. I don't want to unalive people like I did at my old job. Let's just say that. So it's already a step ahead. What's up, Purist? Hope you're having fun, dude. And what is up? The new Aliens and Conspiracy, who used to be
the Grift Keepers Daimyo.
Gatekeepers Daimyo. Daimyo. It's still a great. I miss that name. We'll always have Discord.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
So I'm sitting here, and again, anyone that wants to join and talk about video games, give me a shout. But I'm sitting here talking about, this is 2008. These are 25 of the top games that came out that year. And I, who am a pretty picky person when it comes to video games, have relatively good memories about 14 of these games. If we were to,
I might be a little too young to say I have like good memories of these games, but like if you go a little later, like the early 2010s, a lot of that stuff is the stuff that I wasted most of my life on. But I get the point that we're going for here. Like these games, like there was a high density of good games back then, and now you're lucky to find maybe one or two that really like catch your eye.
Exactly. We've got this year for me. Okay, for me, I am picky. I know a lot of people.
I think you just DM'd me the link again, by the way.
Oh, I did. Where is? There he is.
I will try to stop interrupting you now.
Yeah, all good. So we've got compare this image, which of course is a tie year. Right now, there's 3 more months left in the year, but for what I can remember, the only thing we really got left coming out is the next Call of Duty game. So for me, this year includes Helldivers, and Age of Mythology, and that's it. It's honestly, I wish I could say, what was it called? Homeland. Yeah, Homeland 3, but I never even finished it. I actually got the game for free, and I never even finished it because it just wasn't as fun. Now, part of that could be because I'm just different than I was when I played the first 2, 6 years ago. But games just don't seem to have the same enjoyment.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because, well, to put on the list for this year, I think Black Myth Wukong and
I was going to say
Space Marine 2.
Yeah,
should probably be on that list because those seem really popular.
So with me, I'm looking at it in the frame of like games that I've played that I want to play. I may end up playing how Black Myth Wukong. Is that how you say it? Okay.
Monkey
okay.
game, yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, this thing I've said it in two different ways that I probably don't want recorded, and because I legitimately thought that was the name of it, and then someone corrected me. I was like, oh boy, that's a bad misstep there. But so yeah, I mean, let's include those two. Let's include Space Marines 2, Black Myth. Throw in Elder Scrolls again because of the DLC that came out. That was a huge hit. But still, we're at 4 games.
Yeah.
When I talk about like again, I'm talking about something that isn't because a bunch of streamers played it, or isn't because or didn't have like a week of life. Like Lethal Company doesn't count because Lethal Company had what, a week and a half of life.
I wouldn't count Lethal Company or like Among Us as games that you could put on there, even though they did like pop off and a lot of people played them. It's not like, one, they stuck around, and 2, they were really popular outside of streaming circles. Like most of the games on here, you could probably like bring up to a normie, and at least 1 or 2 of them would be like, "Oh yeah, I played that back then."
And welcome to the stage, the Gatekeepers. Nadia.
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely.
I was excited for this when you posted or when I just saw that you were going to be, uploading
at 4:30 this morning, I think.
Yeah, I just woke up and saw. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, and Cheese Mice, you're 100% correct. Skyrim being Skyrim, we've got what, the 5th edition of Skyrim that came out this year.
Yeah,
and again, like,
I still play Skyrim to this day. I just started another modded playthrough.
There's some good games on this little image you got there. Bad Company, I actually enjoyed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Call of Duty, World at War, Fallout 3, Far Cry 2.
World at War. Think about all the stuff that World at War spawned. I mean, zombies alone. How much time have you put into Yahtzee zombies?
Hundreds of. I mean, Caleb, I'm still one of the ones holding out on like zombies can still come back because it's been dead for a little bit.
And I wanted to. I'm still a little hesitant.
I know.
The last couple I haven't really enjoyed, but you've kept me apprised of everything that they're doing, and it sounds like now obviously it's nice because I won't have to pay for this one.
Yeah,
it'll
that's
come
true.
in Game Pass.
Well, I'm still expecting you and I play a little bit together.
Absolutely.
When it comes out.
But I'm glad that I mentioned Game Pass, because something that I do want to do is come over here to the website for Game Pass. And I'm going to stick to the PC games because these should be the games that you can play on Game Pass PC, which are which I have. So I've got Ultimate, so I've got Game Pass for my computer and my Xbox. But I haven't turned my Xbox on in over a year. Like the last game I played on it was Hogwarts Legacy.
Great game.
yeah. Last year that was my game of the year last year.
Yeah. I agree.
But let's go through this real quick. It's real quick. So 469 games are on this. And just shout. Just shout.
Real quick.
When we get to the end, just shout the number of games that you are like, I would spend, let's say, $30 on that game. Okay, $30 or more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey, sorry, quickly, Caleb. Are you able to blow it up just a little bit more?
Yes. Yeah.
I want to be able to see.
Okay. Let's start there. Better.
Yeah.
Ooh, they got the Doom games on there. That's cool.
So 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm at
this
0.
Is gonna suck if I have to keep doing that.
Oh, okay. 1. 2. Sorry, 2. 3.
I'm at like 4 right now.
Yeah, I'm at 3.
I'm at 11.
Okay, Caleb.
Who's the gamer here, huh?
Yeah.
5.
Oh yeah,
I'd get the
I'm
Dead
at
Space
4.
games to
I'm
play.
at 4. Yeah, the Dead Space I would get.
You know, I hear Dishonored is a really good game. Have you?
Dishonored? I didn't play it, man.
We
looked at it though. That. I'm pretty sure we looked at that together at one point on Discord.
Yeah, you know why?
I forget. What was it?
You're so the Sundowners Club's good friend that lives near Nashville.
Yeah. And he wouldn't shut up about that game, probably.
Ooh, Doom Eternal is on there. I would play the shit out of that.
I lost count.
Doom Eternal, I've heard 16. Too. I've actually heard Doom is pretty fun if you're into that playstyle. I'm still at like 4, 5. Okay, so this puts me at like 5.
Yeah.
So this puts me at like 8, probably 7, I think. All the Fallout games are fun.
That puts me at 8 right there. I would play the New Vegas and 3, maybe 4 for the mods, but that's about it. Maybe try.
Yeah, hey, wait, pause for a second.
Yeah.
Someone's list would jump up tenfold right now.
Yeah, roll up.
Well, we could summon him by going Philly cheesesteak, Philly cheesesteak, Philly cheesesteak.
We do it. Halo.
You know the Goat Simulator game? If they had a cheesesteak line cook game, he'd probably play that.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm going to stop when we get to M, just because this was less of a good idea than I thought it was.
You know, Hellblade didn't look bad. I just didn't play the first one to jump into that.
Oh, sorry. Give me a second.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say mine comes up here because I've never played them, but I at least want to try them after watching your playthrough, Caleb.
Effect,
yeah.
Mass Effect is it's up there as one of the best stories, I think.
Well, I'm waiting on my PC to arrive, so maybe I'll do that for some streams at some point.
Oh, definitely, dude. All right, so I'm going to stop right there. So obviously, I have a much higher number than the two of y'all. But that's solely for let's see, 1, 2.
You wouldn't play My Friend Peppa Pig 3?
Oh, there's Goat Simulator. Some people swear on that game.
Let's see.
It's one of those streamer games though. It popped off because a lot of streamers played it. It's like Lethal Company and Among Us.
So my number is bigger for 3 reasons. 1, the Age of Empires games. The Battlefield games.
I would pick up 3 and 4 without a hesitation.
Absolutely, yeah. The Mass Effect games, and then Halo. So there's like 10 games that are basically out of 3 IPs.
Yeah, that's fair.
And out of the rest of that list, obviously, we didn't go down from in and onward. Not one of those games is after 2000. 2020.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair to say. I think
is that by design though? Like they're keeping the more popular ones, or
so I have here the showcases. This is Xbox again, so it is missing Sony exclusives and maybe 1 or 2 games that were solely on the computer. Let's see. Oh, no, there we go. So this is probably July of 2022 through July of 2023. And of that, you've got ESO, which is a online MMO. Dark Tide. Again, Dark Tide was really just a streamer game. Gotham Knights was crap. High on Life was the only reason
I don't even
High on
want
Life
to think about Gotham Knights, dude.
Yeah. The only reason anyone played High on Life was to listen to what's his name berate you. Modern Warfare 2 was very disappointing. Hogwarts Legacy was extremely fun. Oh. Nah.
League of Legends can suck my.
I don't even see. Oh.
It's in 2023.
Okay. So that is unfortunately really the best I'm going to be able to do on size-wise. Just know that there's not a lot in it. Starfield was exceptionally uninspiring.
So can I pause you there real quick,
Yeah.
Caleb? So do you know off the top of your head, like, do you know where the price is at right now after, it's been a year since Starfield came out?
I think it's still probably $60. Here,
do you think it's worth the full 60?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. But is it worth the $30, like half off?
So if you had the opportunity to buy Starfield and for half off, I'd say you should probably do it because you'll get at least 30 hours of play time. It might not all be complete entertainment. You might get 20 hours of entertainment, 10 hours of I can't kill everyone in this base or whatever thing, frustration, let's call it that. So that's kind of how I look at video games. My number one concern is entertainment hour per dollar, basically. So if I can get 1 hour of fun for $1, I'll take it.
Sure.
I'll give you an example. Helldivers is the most successful thing for me in that opinion. I'm at 700 hours. I paid $30 for it.
Yeah, I would say that exceeds the $30 rate that we're kind of going at by far. Because even though I've kind of dropped off for right now, I know I'm gonna come back in a few weeks and be like, let's play some Helldivers, and it's a game that you can constantly come back to. Even though there's no story, and I'm a story-driven guy, I still think that price range was perfect because you have unlimited playing hours, right? Whereas a game like Starfield, it's like you're gonna still charge people an arm and a leg a year after, even though it's not even doing that well. It doesn't make sense.
That's what's so crazy. And this is another issue that video games, and I don't know why video games have this problem. But let's look at this. Okay.
We talking like microtransactions and trying to like squeeze every penny out of you?
Not even that. Because you don't have to pay for anything in Helldivers. You can earn everything you want.
Yeah, I know.
So Modern Warfare. I'm sure I spelled it wrong. Yeah, I did. I put an E in there.
Modem Warfare.
Let's see. Here's the Modern Warfare that came out. So it says 2023, but that's not when it came. That must be when it came out for the PC. So this game came out in 2019? 5 years old. Still $60. That's ridiculous. You've got let's look at a Black Ops game.
They're still selling like Black Ops 2 for
Black Ops 2 and 3. This is a 12-year-old game. You have the audacity to sell this game for $60. Now, I will say that Activision, Infinity Ward, whoever makes any of the Call of Duty games, constantly have sales. These games are constantly on sale. But to have the audacity to tell someone you have to pay $60 for a 12-year-old game, Nintendo doesn't even do that. They charge 50.
Yeah, that's insane. And I'm assuming, well, I shouldn't assume that. Does it come with like the DLC? Because really the only reason I'll pick up Black Ops 2 at this point in my life would be for zombies. And I liked a lot of the DLC zombies maps, like Buried, like
Sure.
Top
Nope.
of the Dead.
The Black Ops 2 bundle
Origins.
is $100.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, they kind of do fuck you on the old stuff, which I don't fully understand.
This is the Activision bundle. $684, and let's call it $85. For now, obviously, it's every Activision game ever. It's a lot of games. But no one, who the fuck's buying Caesar 3 or 4? I loved Caesar 4. It was fun. But it wasn't worth the money when it came out.
Yeah. And you know what? One of the best recent in the past decade, one of the best games for zombies of the newer ones is Black Ops 4, and they don't even let you buy it on Steam, which I'm kind of upset about. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's like let me play that on. That way I can play with you and sit on Discord. Like, I don't have to like go to my PS5 and set up my phone and Discord through that. Like, I can just play with you guys. You know, I don't understand why they took it off there.
I am very fuzzy.
Oh, you looked fine to me, but
the pricing on it is insane. Like, and to your point, talking about like the amount of money you're going to pay for the amount of entertainment you get, like the games that I sunk tons of time into would be like Destiny 1 and 2, the Borderlands series, and Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
And all of those, $60 for those games was a steal for how much entertainment I got out of them.
For sure.
Nowadays, I'll buy a game and maybe not even play it, because when I sit down to actually like get into it, I'm just like, I don't know, this feels really generic and boring.
And you know, I think one of the problems that we have and that we are faced with, I think everyone basically over the age of, let's say, 18 is faced with now, is we have to pick what we're going to spend our time on. Yeah. So like, you know, I get to work at about, let's say, 8:15. I leave work at 5:15. Takes me 15-20 minutes to get home. Yeah, so I've got four hours during a weekday to kind of do whatever the hell I want. But during that 4 hours, I have to eat. I have to, I'm sure, use the bathroom. I have to make a phone call or two. I have to talk to some other people, you know, and somehow in those 4 hours, I'm supposed to find time to also play a video game, maybe make a video, maybe do a stream. And it's like, where the amount of time we use for a video game now, we are making a choice that we weren't making when we were 13 years old and playing some of these games.
And something I want to kind of add on to that, Caleb, is that the way I gauge a game nowadays from how much you're paying for it and your time, like you're talking about, is the playability. And I find much more these days, if you're a true gamer and really enjoy a good story, like with movies, you want a good story that you know you can revisit and then maybe play at a harder level, do the things you didn't do the first time through. And that's kind of how I gauge it. And what you're talking about with the time, like I know myself, like the way I play, I want to get through the story, the first playthrough for whatever game I'm playing, get through the story, buff up a little bit so that it's not as challenging. But I'm not going to do 100% of the things. I'll go back though later on that year, or maybe even run it back right away, and I'll play through and really grind and do all the nitpicky stuff, you know? Yeah. But that's how I gauge, like, if it's a good game or not, right? And so, like, do they offer that playability? Like, the first playthrough might be 20 hours, maybe 30 hours of story. but you have an additional 20 hours that you can put into the game past that.
Yeah.
And when you're charging,
that was the biggest failure of Hogwarts Legacy, was it had a huge amount of gameplay at the beginning. Like your first playthrough, you could spend probably 60 hours just doing a bunch of stuff. Like I got lost in that game just flying around.
You think that's a negative for it?
No. The negative is that there was really no reason to replay the game.
Oh, okay. But in my opinion, that almost gauges it as a better single player story, right? Because you can sit there, like if you really love it, you can go back. But my point is, like a lot of games these days, they don't give you 60 hours for the $60 or for the over $70. And when we were gauging it like $1 per hour, right, type of thing, you know, like I don't feel like I get that on most games, you know. So
yeah, no, I totally agree, and it's so annoying because let's think back to the quintessential single player game that was Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare. I mean, how many times have you played that campaign?
I definitely played it a lot. Well, Modern Warfare 2, definitely more.
Definitely, yeah. Well, Modern Warfare 2 was the best one.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3 or 4 Rangers missions were incredible.
I just wouldn't categorize Modern Warfare or Call of Duty as a whole as single player. That's a clear-cut multiplayer game. That you could even argue that that's what really drove the state of gaming streaming, you know, of the past decade, 2 decades. Like it.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree or not on that?
The first person shooter format, definitely. Call of Duty, I feel like just because it was on multiple platforms was probably more broadly popular. But if you really want to talk about one that had a passionate fan base at the same time, Halo is also up there for a similar thing.
So
that sort of competitive multiplayer gameplay kind of became like the normie thing. And if you're trying to get a lot of life out of a game for like a company standpoint, you really want to draw in the normie audience because they're the ones who are going to continue to recommend it to their friends and try and get people in. And that's
so I think it started with Halo. Halo's whole MLG gaming thing. That's what I think really started this whole idea of esports and things like that. Call of Duty then made it more accessible to the masses. You know, printing press all over again. But what I truly blame for the downfall of video games in the last 5 years is Fortnite.
I was going to say the same thing.
Is the main thing that the rise of the money, the rise of the streamer, and I'm not even talking about the dude that goes and plays Black Myth Wukong or Elder Scrolls and stuff like that. That's different. I'm talking about the competitive streamer that sits there, and because we've had streamers, we've had how-to videos. They're one of the first big video game content creators got big off of basically teaching you how to play Battlefield 3 better.
Yeah.
And that didn't ruin Battlefield 3 for Hardline. Hardline ruined itself. Or 5 or 1. But it's this rise in money from Fortnite. And there's a reason Epic is being sued.
Are they? I actually didn't. I didn't see that.
5th lawsuit over Fortnite because they have it's basically the same lawsuit that there's a law firm in Charleston that's suing Meta over Instagram and Facebook because it's born out of these lawsuits that have gone against Epic for their what's it called? Targeting of kids. Like they know that the dancing, all that stuff gets kids. I don't know if addicted is the right thing.
My part though is like why would that constitute a an actual legal reason to sue someone. Like, you can target videos for kids as long as it's appropriate, all that other stuff. Like, I just don't understand why just because it's aimed at kids.
Money is the reason.
I was going to say it's like basically predatory advertising for
it's
drawing in customers.
It's predatory spending as well. So Epic is or keeps getting in trouble for basically making it super easy for kids to spend money on the game.
Well, and okay, I could understand the money part because like kids don't have money, they're spending their parents' money, but like it's on the parents, the adults, to lock out those. Like, it's not necessarily on Fortnite if your credit card is linked to the account that your kid plays on, and he can just sit there. That's kind of where I'm at, right?
I think another aspect of it is this is kind of the thing that to like relate it to a little bit of a different topic. Cartoons used to make all their money off of the toys that they would sell. The kids would watch the cartoon and then beg their parents for the toys. That's another element of it. They play Fortnite. They see their favorite streamer doing all these cool things, and they go and they beg their parents for V-Bucks and stuff. That's certainly a part of it. I agree with you. It is on the parents to be like monitoring their kids' internet activity. I feel like sticking your kid
and the money they can spend on the internet, right? Like that's the biggest part.
Sticking your kids in front of a screen and expecting that to basically like be their distraction so that you don't have to deal with them. That's shit parenting, okay? And I hope a friend of mine never sees this, because every time I have ever seen him, he just has his daughter playing on an iPad in the corner of the room so he doesn't have to deal with her. I'm just like,
that's fucked up. We grew up, I mean, I know you're a few years younger, Crimson, but we all grew up, like me and Caleb, and I'm pretty sure you too, based off what you're talking about. We all grew up in the time where your parents say, go play outside, you know?
Yeah, actually, there were... I mean, before Black Ops 2 came out, so that would have been what, 2012.
Yeah.
That was like it was I had very limited video game time, but I got addicted to Black Ops 2. I really don't want to talk about how much time I spent on that game. It was basically a part-time job.
But the point I was trying to say is that, like, until about the age 13, 14, I didn't have the freedom to just play games after school. It was like, I get back from school, eat a snack, no TV, go bike, go knock on your neighbor's door to play with whoever. And
mobile
that's
device.
how I grew up.
This is also were not popular when we all grew up too.
Okay, real quick, we're gonna pause for just a second. A very, very rare California win.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Jinx.
This is from Culture Crave, and obviously I'll have to look into this, see how legit.
Oh, is it the phone thing?
Description about it is a new law in California will force digital storefronts to tell players they're simply buying a license for a digital product rather than owning the product. Language like buy or purchase can't be used without clearly warning that the game could be removed. That's
so what's the gist of it?
So basically what it's saying is when you get let's see,
this has actually been a thing. There's that petition going to the EU about this, right? About companies like marketing like a digital game and then pulling it off the market and people can't access it anymore.
Yeah. So here's Ubisoft.com. I love how this is the one that I thought about going to. So under this law, it's also very sad that this says join now instead of buy. Oh, here we go. Okay. Buy the
If you're
game.
retarded enough to buy Star Wars Outlaws, you deserve everything that's coming to you. Sorry.
I'll tell you what, I'm very happy that I don't have personal information on here. And I love how I just pulled up a website that could have had my fucking information on it and didn't even check before I started streaming it. But so this page under this law would have to either say license the game or make it very clear somewhere down here that you are not buying the game to own, that you are only buying permission to play it. So that's shit, man. Look, I love shit on California. Dynamo, I love it. But
yeah, I don't.
Bravo.
I don't stop hearing it.
What's up, Breezy? How you doing, man?
But I mean,
I have a good week. I'm excited that tomorrow is Friday, and then I can have my weekend.
To sort of like bring it back around to the topic of like with the Fortnite stuff. Yeah, we did not like, at least I didn't grow up in a time where I needed a mobile device at any given moment. I didn't get my first phone until I was almost ready to drive, by the way. Like that was the point at which I actually thought, maybe I should have a way to communicate with my friends.
Yeah. So let's see. We had a household cell phone that my brother, sister, and I would kind of switch between who was carrying it, depending on like what we were doing that afternoon after school. But I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 15, I think, just before I started driving. And yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous for a couple reasons. One, it's crazy how easy it is for a kid to spend their parents' money on a cell phone. Mm-hmm. Like again, any kid because I did this, I got my ass whooped for doing this, but there was a stupid little game that I wanted to. It was a stupid little like casino. I don't even remember. It wasn't even like online gambling. It was just some thing where you had to like build a casino basically. And I played the demo on the old flip phone. It's like, hey mommy, I want this. And I knew what the code was, so I bought it for myself. And it's like I said, I got my ass whooped.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
But that's one of the reasons why the lawsuit is going through, because that shit is so easy to do.
Again, though, from a defendant standpoint, I would sit there and be like, well, you should know where your money is linked to, and even though there's a bigger aspect, how are you going to blame the kids or the company of the the source where the kids are buying from? But like,
it's all under the umbrella of consumer protection. And also, is that your third drink tonight?
Yeah, but they're short pours.
Okay.
They are. They're not. I'm not.
I just
they're not full glasses.
We all have to work tomorrow. I just want to make sure you get there on time.
Yeah, that there's no worries about that.
Yeah,
I do short pours.
I got fucked up the other night and showed up to work about 45 minutes late. It was not good.
Yeah, no, that's not me. If anything, I show up and I'm just tired as shit. But
yeah, well, I'm in constant state of.
So, Caleb, if you don't mind, can I bogart a segment? It's not going to be too what's it called? Like it's not cute,
annoying, weird.
It won't. It's the Ghost of Tsushima thing, and I actually wanted.
Okay, yeah. So we're actually getting there.
Okay.
So I started this by saying this is not a reaction to State of Play. Me doing this is not because State of Play came out 2 nights ago and it was like. First of all, who the fuck does a video game stream about like the future of our console at fucking 10 p.m. on the East Coast?
Yeah, I mean, didn't it start at 5? It started at 5 EST or PST, right? So that's
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Yeah,
like I get that you're based out of the Japan, but every single other showcase, whether it's E3, Gamescom, Xbox Showcase, Ubisoft, EA, they're all at like 2:00 in the afternoon for a reason. Because the majority of the people that play video games populate one time zone.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I would say it's not as bad as Lucasfilm, where they like announce like this is when the show's going to drop, and then they go 2 hours earlier than everyone else, which has happened before in the past.
Oh yeah. So gearing up to talk about Ghosts of
Tsushima, or Yote is what.
Yote.
Yote, right?
So obviously that was the highlight of.
I think it's Yote or something like that.
I think it's Yote or TIE, something like that. I thought it was Yote.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Ghost of Samurai Game 2. Got it. So obviously
I'm not weeb enough to know.
Highlight of State of Play, and of course it was. Ghost of Tsushima was a hugely popular game, and there are people that are upset that that's not continuing the story of Ghost of Tsushima, that's moving on, and it's a female samurai. I don't really give a shit about that.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about.
One thing that I do think is absolutely hilarious is this game was announced 38 hours ago, and 24. I throw in kind of guessing on that number. Not even 48 hours after the announcement of that game, Ubisoft announces that
they're delayed.
that their samurai game
is
delayed till next year.
Yeah.
And what's so funny is that game is coming out the same month that Kingdom Come 2 and Civilization 7 comes out. Good
Monster Hunter Wilds too. That one would probably be
Monster
popular.
Hunter, and it's also we don't have a confirmed date for it yet, but coming out the same year as Grand Theft Auto 6 and the new Gears of War, Doom, and Fable. So good fucking luck getting anyone to play your shit game.
I mean, okay. A few things.
They're aiming for that Black History Month slot. That's what they're doing.
I saw that tweet earlier. That was pretty
This is the
funny.
This is kind of the whole point why I have an issue with it. First of all, I know Crimson, you didn't play the game, but Caleb, did you play Tsushima? It sounds like you didn't. Yeah.
It's a From Software game, right?
Oh, but you were talking about it's not From Software. It's Sucker Punch, if I believe. Yeah. But so. You were talking about though the Ubisoft, right? Like, good luck getting for them to play it. Yo, what's up, King Chris? Glad you made it. So really, what I wanted to talk about is because, like you talked about, within 24 hours, people were already raging.
Yeah,
I admittedly came into a DM with Crimson and Grey Pilgrim, like raging about it, but it came off as like, oh, like a toxic male, like they changed it for a woman, and then Crimson kind of pushed me on it and was like, well, what are you actually upset about? And I finally realized I'm not upset that it's a woman. I'm upset that they prematurely cut off a very, very, very good story, and that's what I think the real issue is. And what I think the rage on quote unquote our side, like the more skeptical side, toxic side, they're raging about it being a woman, but I think most of these people haven't actually played the game based off of what I've gathered.
This is where I'm at on it. I have not. I honestly, I haven't even seen the teaser. I just know that obviously what you know from Twitter is, it's 300 years later. It's not the same story, and it's a female samurai. So this is where I'm at on it. Okay, well, I'm under the impression that there really weren't female samurai, so that's.
Yes, it takes place 17th century, I think.
So annoying, but I don't really care. The thing that bugs me is that what this is it's a red flag. So we've seen this before. Now they have earned the right to make the game and allow us to decide whether or not it's good. And because because they succeeded in Ghost of Tsushima. So if this ends up being a woke shit thing, and then next time they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. But I believe that they have earned the benefit of the doubt here.
and that's really the main point I wanted to make. And King Chris, but yeah, I was gonna say, cool that
you
he's
know what?
watching that.
What's so funny is
Yeah.
this could have been like 6 different streams, and if it's the one I'm thinking of,
Earned yourself a fan.
so
Fucking King Chris.
the apartment right here, I think it's actually empty because I've never seen anyone come up to this floor other than me.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing because if someone was living in that apartment, I would have had a note on my door or the police called for me because I finally won a fight one night and I was just fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was loud, it was obnoxious, but it was so satisfying.
Oh, so why I wanted to really talk about this and shed light on it is because I did come in with like before I saw all the Twitter shit. I came in based off of just watching the trailer, like motherfucker, and the rage. Everything I was talking about during the rage when I was talking to Crimson, it made me sound like just a crying woke type of person. But then when we really dug into it and we talked for maybe an hour, I think around there, Crimson was just asking questions like, "Well, why is it? Why are you upset?" And I realized it's not really just. I'm not upset because it's a woman. I'm upset because they cut off prematurely. They cut off a very good storyline that it like emotionally compelling, like very good gameplay. Like it sold you on the character that you were, and them going 400 years in the future, having a female protagonist take over the main character role in the second game feels premature. Like I've said multiple times, it's a cherry on top, and it's kind of like pissing on a wound or pissing on someone that's like hurt. So that's really where I think the rage is from, and why I think it's bullshit from the kind of toxic side in quotations is that most of the people complaining about it are just seeing a female lead replacing a male lead. They're not seeing why that's important and why the root of the issue is that that a good story was cut off short and you're not really explaining it further through. And me and Crimson were talking about earlier today that we're lacking on the internet. We're lacking in the ability to sit there and have a conversation about things, understand both sides, hear someone out. And I think that's really what's going on right now. And look, like I tend to lean to a certain side. You two both know me. Like I lean to a certain side, but I'm still open to understanding the situation. And I wanted to talk about this because look, like I don't think the issue is like let's just cry woke because it's a female. I think the issue is that they're ignoring a progression of a story that they could it could turn out so well. There was so much untapped potential,
we had kind of a similar thing when the commercial for Fallout came out, and you and I both said, look, a female protagonist in of itself does not make a TV show bad or woke.
Yes
but it is a red flag.
It is.
We had the same issue when House of the Dragon, when the trailers for House of the Dragon came out, and we found out the Valerians were going to be black. Look, it's not a problem. Obviously, it does end up kind of changing how you're going to write the story because the question about whether or not Rhaenyra's children are legitimate is kind of gone now. But it didn't make the show woke. It didn't make the show bad. But when you take that same thing and you decide to change the race of a character, and then you make that character's new race all about like their character, then that's when you ruin the story, and that's when you cross into that woke area.
So sorry, Crimson. I know you want to chime in. I just want to connect it to what Caleb was saying there right now. Like season 1 with Game of Thrones, I think that makes sense 100%. I haven't gotten to that part yet in Fire and Blood, right? But from my understanding, talking with you and our other friends, season 1 didn't seem too like woke, quote unquote, but then they stuck Daemon in season 2, like So I'm just saying we don't have to go into a rabbit hole. I'm just saying that season 1 to season 2 there's a big difference. So I think there's
down
this
the rabbit hole.
Yes, but there's this. I see what you're doing there. There's this bait and switch aspect to it, right? Last of Us is a huge culprit.
Yes, it is.
So you get people to get on board, love the game, and then second game you switch it up and you go full woke. I'm worried about that.
Yeah. No, look,
I can't say I would blame you for that one.
Yeah, Chris has a great point here.
To sort of talk about this is kind of what I wanted to bring up. Is they've earned the reputation, but now people are clinging to the voice actress of the supposed female samurai for Ghost of Yote is a political activist and all of that, and people are clinging to that as if that's a huge determination of how the direction of the game. Okay, well, let me just point this out. If I had to avoid every show that had voice actors that I disagreed with, I wouldn't be watching half the shit I just did this summer. Okay,
I think it's cute that you think it would only be half.
I say it like that to get the point across. Like, there are so many people out there. Like, I love Mark Hamill's work in a lot of stuff. I think Mark Hamill's an insufferable.
Yeah, but he says bullshit stuff on the internet.
He's an insufferable dumbass now.
Well,
so
but look,
it's like that's the point I wanted to make is people are getting distracted, like you were saying, Daimyo. They aren't actually looking at why it matters. They're just clinging to these things that other people are saying and not asking, sitting down and, okay, why is this an issue? What are the potential red flags? What should we be looking for? And does this project deserve us giving it a fair chance to succeed?
And Crimson, correct me if I'm wrong, but was I not at first I was raging, but by the end of our conversation, was I not did I not shed a little bit of light on why people should be upset about it? That's
like I said in our DMs, I think we both walked away from that with a better understanding of the different views of what was going on there. Like I walked out of it like, okay, I can see why he's upset with this. Cut something short was actually good. They should have done more with that. And I mean, here we are now. We're still friends.
No, exactly. But I made that comment that you disagree with people, you understand why you disagree, you shake hands, virtually or physically, you shake hands, and you're like, all right, let's go. And Caleb, I'd like to know your thought process on this. I think the whole culture war gets super annoying at this point. Some things are valid. This is super woke, but
I don't think there's enough to start lining up the troops and get ready to fire cannons. I think
it's so bad. I got called a Marvel shill over fingers on a poster. That's how bad the culture war stuff is.
That one was stupid though.
So
there were 4 fingers there. It was clear there was 4 fingers there.
Yeah. So what is this? Clearly X-Wing's talking to Crimson Law right there.
What's up, Shellwing?
Who told you I came out of the closet?
Oh my god. So one of the things that I think is very important to look at is remember when Concord came out a month ago and is now
a month ago?
Gone? Yeah, so the game was released in, I think it was August 25th. And it was canceled. The server, everything was shut down September 6th. So 400, this is another thing to talk about too. Just like movies, the price of these games are getting insane. Concord cost $400 million.
Yeah, that's insane.
Over the course of it was 8 years of development. First of all, there are 2 studios on this planet that should ever be allowed to spend 8 years making a game. Rockstar and Bethesda, and that's it. And Bethesda has a even shorter leash on that because of fucking Starfield.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, to sort of
think about that. How many people make a video game?
how do people make a video game?
How many? How many people do you have on a team making a video? Let's say it's
depends
60
on the game,
people.
but
but let's say it's 60 people.
You can make a good
$15
game with. Let's just saying.
Yeah, with like one person, to be honest. But yeah, but when you're talking about like a you know,
I don't know how explain.
Yeah, I don't even know what he means by that. But you know, when you're talking about a type A, type of game, top shelf, like you're looking at least, I think, 60 to 100 people working on the game. They have a storyboard, they have grunt workers that are working on all of the visuals. You got, a storyboard, it's a big project.
So, but in that group, you've got $400 million spent on this game. Let's say
on Concord.
Concord was $400 million.
Maybe redirect that money to some better fucking character designs. Christ.
Wait. Do we know, Caleb? Do we know what Concord made, so we can compare?
Not 400 million.
Yeah, like a buck.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, it's the whole acolyte business. I don't mean to make it pop culture, but it is. It took. Now reports are coming out $230 million to make, and no one showed up for it. So it begs the question: how long does this company last when you're doing stuff like that?
Well, I saw a guy make a pretty good point. They're not making their money off of fans and customers anymore. They're making their money off of investors. And if the investors is going to automatically give you a shitload of money, why would you even bother catering to fans when you're just going to get the money anyway, right?
Yeah, but then those investors, okay, so do you have that much money that you can just invest into a game that's not going to give you return? That's the whole point in this.
BlackRock does.
Hang on.
Okay, well, we're getting into conspiracy. Are we on King's Advisors or conspiracies? Conspiracy.
I think black is one of those words you can't really say.
Rothschild.
Oh, sorry.
Shit, oh my God.
I'm going to start singing about a flower here soon since we're going that way.
No,
all of a sudden, stream shuts down.
Rewind. Yeah. Rewind. So, sorry, I kind of lost track of where I was. I was trying to do that thing for next week. $400 million on what was supposed to be the next Overwatch, right? Wasn't Concord supposed to just be a first-person shooter battle royale type thing?
It was supposed to be a hero shooter, yeah.
Yeah. So $400 million over 8 years of development, and they made $1.45. It was the poster child. I used child on purpose. For DEI and Jesus, for DEI, for inclusion, all this shit. And again, they fuck up simple character development. Yeah. Here is their medic. What about this fat ass tells you it's a medic?
They can transfer some of their adipose over to the other person as tissue.
Took the initial. I would say that it took the initial shot and 7 boosters after the fact. That's what I would say.
That's supposed to be a dude,
had so
right?
much fun having a channel for 2 years, and then I met Gatekeeper's Daimyo, and he destroyed it in 2 streams.
On a real note, I think Chris brought up a good point. If you were able to bring that up. Yeah,
100%. There are plenty of developers that have shown us how not to do things. Rocksteady built years and years of good faith with the Arkham games to turn around and throw it all away with Suicide Squad. And what's so funny about that is, they announced, I think it was last week, that they're working on another Batman game.
Well, the big issue with the Rocksteady thing is it's internally like a completely different studio. The guys who actually made the Arkham games, they buggered off to somewhere else. They got their own studio now.
Yeah,
how many examples do we have of that same very thing? Every Halo game since Reach.
Well,
let's see. You can even look at when a writer leaves. Look at the difference between Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. Drew Karpyshyn didn't write Mass Effect 3, and you can tell the story quality changes. It's not as good.
Well, and when it comes to the Arkham games, Arkham 1, 2, and 3 were looked at as some of the best Batman games, and then this Suicide Squad game came out, and they all dipped out, like what Crimson is saying. And what do you have? You have a Mrs. Freeze. So it's like,
can you really call that thing a Mrs.?
Yeah,
also, here's the other problem with that. Why did you? There is already a female Freezer.
Yeah.
Why did you need to make Mr. Freeze Mrs. Freeze?
You don't.
Just use Killer Frost. She exists.
Yeah.
It's like there's already black superheroes.
Caleb,
why
are you
turning Superman black?
Caleb, you know what else exists? Women. Women exist.
Okay. I didn't want to do it. But has anyone seen
I wouldn't know. I've never seen one in real life.
Has anyone seen that? Has anyone seen that picture of Ubisoft?
Ubisoft has like a form of a human form. Ubisoft.
Okay,
I can only imagine.
So Ubisoft 2004.
I'm told they feel like sandbags.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh shit.
Caleb, you did this to yourself, having Crimson and me on.
This was a mistake.
Clowns to the left and Jokers to the
right. Jokers to the right. Yeah. Let's see. Company photo. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. No. Okay. I'm sure everyone's seen this picture. It's basically, I'm pretty sure it's Ubisoft. It could be someone else, but it's a picture of Ubisoft basically just before Assassin's Creed, the original one, came out. So that's like 2006, I think. I think the first one came out in 07.
Oh boy.
And it looks manly. They
probably
did
also a whole lot smaller of a team too, right?
They did a company photo a couple of months ago, and it looks very different. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about. Very diverse, equatorial, and inclusive.
Is this supposed to be a woman with an Adam's apple? That's what.
Yeah, it's, sometimes just like not having to pierce the joke, like sometimes it helps, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to put you in a spot.
There you go, cheese. Rainbow.
That's one of the things is like a lot of like the great games that we all like played and like throughout our teens and stuff and like through college years and all that. Those were made by relatively small teams. Like the original Ubisoft team is probably a lot smaller than what they're working with now. The 60 to 100 dev teams, that was not what made those games good. You had a focused team who did the stuff they needed to and had like a goal in mind. Too many people with their hands in the pot is not a good idea.
All jokes aside for a second, what I want to bring up is you have the current thing that's in the spotlight, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, and The Last of Us. All of those franchises, the first game, 0 ounce of woke or whatever you want to call it. There's no, they don't even give you the chance to think it's prejudice in any way. Just a solid story. They bring in a big fan base, and then the second game that comes out, all of a sudden you start seeing red flags. You start getting these certain. There's characters there's race swapping. There's all this other stuff that's going on. That's really the point that I think most people are outraged about, or are prematurely outraging about with the Ghost of Tsushima thing.
And pointless. Don't forget to add pointless race swapping.
Yes, exactly.
So I'll give you an example. When and this is probably showing some bad quality about me, but when Assassin's Creed Origins was announced, my first thought was they're doing this just so they can have a black assassin. Like, that's the only reason. There's no sense in this. Why are we putting assassins in Egypt? And I played it, and it's not my favorite. Like, I don't really like it. But there was no... It was very similar to the Corliss Valerian thing. There was no shoving it in your face. There was no, you're going to like this because it's time that we had a black assassin. There was none of that. It was just Balak's... It was Balak's story. It's his story about being an assassin.
Yeah, bollocks.
And there was no problem with it. I wasn't a big fan just because of how they kind of stylized the game.
Well,
but that's how you should do that.
So what I was trying to the kind of picture I was trying to frame though was that these studios, these newer studios that aren't the top dogs, they put out one game that has none of this stuff in it.
Yeah.
And then the second game they release after they have a following, then they switch it up on people. That's really what I find disrespecting to the gaming community. Like, the reason why we gravitated towards your game was because it looked like a great game, good gameplay, good story. There was nothing in your face, like, shouting at you that, like, this is how you should think. And you play it, it's a good story. And then the second game that comes out or that they announce, all of a sudden, this person's trans, this person's gay, all this other stuff. I'm not trying to get you canceled. I'm actually trying to look at
that's an extremely fair point. We get these games that are, and I'm going back to Helldivers. There was a huge push in Helldivers around March and April to start including pride flags in as capes and all this stuff.
There is zero woke in Helldivers. It's about spreading democracy. That's it. It's it. So you spread democracy. You kill bugs. You kill bots. They're not
democracy.
Yeah, but they're not pandering to anyone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's to Arrowhead's credit, they said they came out and they're like, look, we're not going to make this game political. There's nothing in this game that is pro one side or the other. We have a story. We're making it. There's no reason to have. We're not going to have American flags. We're not going to have gay pride flags. We're not going to have flags because that's not this. This isn't this.
It's not the
world.
Point.
Doesn't have countries. This is
you're missing the point.
Well,
exactly.
And Caleb, I'll tell you right now. I mean, we played hundreds of hours probably at this point together. If there was a rainbow flag or a rainbow cape, I'd probably stop playing at this point. I'm like, I'm done with it. I don't want to support it. If they all of a sudden did a whole package where it's all rainbow, you can shoot rainbow bullets. When you throw a grenade, it blows up in rainbow.
I think if they had a effect where if you blow stuff up and it becomes rainbows, that'd be. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of,
I would quit the game.
Remember,
I would actually start playing
skulls?
Again just for that because I think it would be fucking hilarious.
Remember the skull effects in Halo?
No.
The grunt birthday party, you headshot a grunt and it gets all celebrations. That's what that would remind me of. I love what Star Wars Dog says here. I think today there are so many people that want to and do work in video games versus when it wasn't oversaturated. They just have too many people now with bad ideas, also stupid liberals. And he's completely right. Let's look at fucking Twitter. Look at those company photos of Twitter before Elon took over, and then like the 2 or 3 months after that, and all the people that got fired. And look at all those videos that were coming out. The day in my life of working at Twitter. I go in at 9:30. 9:30. You know what? I would love to start work at 9:30.
Hi, I'm a guy who starts work at 7.
Yeah. I'm a guy
8:30, and I hate that.
Coming from a guy that starts at 8, but you have to clock in at 8, and you're expected to show up at 7:30.
7:45.
Yeah, no, 7:30. That's when they kind of expect you. So people will throw comments around like, "Oh, you're late," when you show up at 7:45, but you don't have to clock in until 8. Get the fuck out of here.
He's lying here. He didn't even have to work today. So
yeah, that's what I thought. Wait,
We did have a
highlight
hurricane, but
highlight Sundowners Club. He's ripping on me right now.
yeah. Malcolm X ad. That's right. We're gonna keep it low and down. It's my name.
The Twitter ones always
fucking Sundowners. Fuck you.
Yeah, the Twitter videos always made me laugh. Like, I will come in at 9:30, and at 9:45, I get my iced frappuccino, no foam, no cup latte.
Yeah, pumpkin spice, right?
And then they have 3 meetings a day. In between that, they go and do yoga.
At 10:30, I go to the meditation room, and then
exactly
after that, I go to the rec room, get myself a nice salad.
With avocado toast, right? That's what they all do.
These people who just come into tech and they ruin it. There is a reason that a bunch of these companies look. Anybody see Silicon Valley?
I watched like a couple episodes. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. I think the answer should be obvious, but no.
So first episode, they make a point that so many of these companies started in people's garages, and it starts with hard work. And so you get all of these companies that have given us stuff that we've loved from let's say 1998 to 2020. So you got all these things that people love. Started and created by these companies that started in a garage, started on a Mac with Windows 95, or sorry, a Microsoft with Windows 95, and then you get these people who just ruin all of this. X-Wing, let's fix that name. Then you get all of these people come in and they ruin these games. What's up, X-Wing?
What's up, brothers?
Fuck you, X-Wing.
And it's just like,
what did I do?
Yeah.
Everything. It's all your fault. The reason the world's going to shit is because of you.
Him over.
God damn, X-Wing.
So real quick, Star Wars Dog. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Star Wars Dog gifted 5 keys.
How did I offend you, my good friend? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
All the new people, welcome to the Elderman. Drop some actuallys in the chat.
X-Wing, cheers.
Oh, cheers, dude.
Where is it?
That was great time.
I'm not even gonna read that, Sundowners. You just spent an hour and a half. Yeah, an hour and a half playing a 6-year-old game and having, I assume, quite a bit of fun doing it.
You mean a game for 6-year-olds? Yeah.
Well, it's also
potato.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it for free? Or is it
I think it's free to play, isn't it? You have to buy it
now.
on Steam. I think it's free on Xbox.
Yeah, it is now. It wasn't when it came out.
Yeah. Still, it's a fun game, and you don't have to pay an arm and a leg to go have fun.
Yeah, there's no bull crap with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty bare bones.
Again, I got that game in February last year, and I'm not sure I played anything else for like
much to
6
your
months.
chagrin, if you remember.
Well,
yes,
also,
I was like, "Hey, you got to play this game." You're like,
I was gonna say also it was
it was
the Genesis was Daimyo.
Yeah.
Whoa! The Genesis.
Yeah.
He said, "Y'all should play Sea of Thieves." And I said,
the game console?
Game. It's terrible.
Yeah.
X-Wing got it. And I was like, "Well, I guess I'll get it."
Sega.
And I didn't put it down for 6 months.
No, that was a fun time. I mean, that was like X-Wing. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was like right when I showed up into your community, and then all of a sudden, I was like, "Hey guys, this game's fun. Play it." You're like, what the fuck is this game?
And then
all of a sudden,
never played with us.
Yeah, just never played again.
The good times.
There's some Jolly Rogers.
I also sucked at that game. Let's be real.
That's okay.
Dude, I still don't know what I'm doing 90% of the time.
Yeah.
It's just something to do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's what's so great about that game is like it's so playable while not having to like worry about what you're doing. Because I did Elden Ring for so long, and then I switched over to Monkey Wukong, and it's like that demands all of your strength and all of your brain energy and shit like that. And then you play Sea of Thieves, and you're like,
Well, it's also like we were talking.
Dig here.
Caleb, we were talking about Fortnite before. I think what's it called? That game is more like it's because it's made from the same person. It's like Fortnite with at least 3 brain cells. You know,
Yeah.
You got to think about what you're doing. Same kind of gameplay, right? Like
it's a J speed game.
Yeah. Well, look, we don't all have brain cells to spare. We gotta. There has to be some gameplay.
He's busy thinking of ways to get away with tripping a Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my god. Did y'all anybody read the statement from Ubisoft today?
No,
I don't even keep up with Ubisoft.
I was gonna say I don't follow
Ubisoft.
No, it's Ubisoft, right?
Ubisoft.
I've always called it Ubisoft.
Boobisoft.
Yeah, it's Boobisoft.
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
I wouldn't know.
Let's see. So this is the head of the So I think this is from the president of the board of directors. In the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency while delighting players. As a result, beyond the first important short-term actions undertaken, the executive committee, under the supervision of the board of directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach, and accelerating our strategic path toward a higher performing model to the benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. Basically, a whole bunch of blah, 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 blah. But
I was about to say, what the hell does that even mean?
Exactly. This is what I think is the big wow of this whole thing. Finally, let me address some of the polarized comments around Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are in an entertainment-first company, creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. And I think that's if any good comes out of that. And now this comes like 5 minutes after they pushed Assassin's Creed Shadows to next February. Nothing's changing in that game. They're not gonna rewrite the game. They're not gonna redo any of the things. Some dialogue might get cut. Something here and there might change so that they can say, we looked into it and we realized that we were trying to push an agenda in this game and we wanted to fix that. But
they won't have Yasuke's gay pride armor.
But
damn it. Wait, hold on. They're getting rid of his pride armor?
Like, oh my god, how can they do that? Like, seriously.
No, it's not even pride armor. It's training armor for her.
Like,
she has so his armor tucks it and hers gives it a bulge.
I'm gonna get kicked off of YouTube. Anyways, I wanted to stop in and say what's up. I love you guys. I just wanted to be here and say hi. I have to make one more stop and then I'm leaving because I have to watch this Giants Cowboys game.
Okay, I thought you were leaving to go watch Rings of Power.
No, I watched the last episode today.
I'm so sorry.
My blob.
Why would you torture yourself like that?
Oh, because every Sunday morning,
Ah.
my brother and I, who's a total Tolkien nerd, we sit down and I run him through what happened in the last episode. And he is going to be ecstatic to hear that Elrond made out with his mother-in-law.
Yep.
Hey,
Exactly
that's another
what I was gonna
conversation I had in the DM.
Yeah.
Well, okay, actually, there's no problem about that, right? Like Captain America did the same thing with his Into the Future niece, right? And then goes back into the past.
So I mean, the fact that she's there is a massive problem, and also that we have an Amazon original known as Adar who now has a
Oh
ring
my
of
God.
power. Like,
who also had Morgoth's crown.
yeah, and killed Sauron. Apparently, is that CD
What
Lamb?
about Lestroth's crown?
Yeah,
Okay.
touchdown! Give me that money. So
Yeah, so I almost put a 5 or 6 leg parlay, including this game, but I decided not
this
to.
is such a bad game for a parlay, dude.
Yeah, well, so
This is-
the one leg from this game was going to be Wandale Robinson scores a touchdown.
Well,
Mm.
so Caleb,
Yeah.
can I bring up I think it was Xbox first generation?
As soon as we say goodbye to X-Wing.
Yeah, I gotta poof off. I'm going
Oh,
over to
shit.
Epic Verse, and then I'm done for the night. I'm out.
All right,
Have
actually,
fun, man.
Cheers. Much love to you.
Later.
Good to see you, Crimson.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, I made him cry. I'm sorry.
Caleb, can we talk about? Let's go back to good times. Can we talk about?
So you said first generation of Xbox.
First
so
generation Xbox.
what is that?
Twin Towers.
01,
Twin
06?
Towers. That was what 2005 area.
What did you say?
Am I wrong?
Hey, repeat what you said. What are we talking about?
Lord of the Rings, Xbox, like I think it's Xbox 1 or 2.
But 2 towers.
Yeah, did I not say that?
I heard Twin Towers.
I heard Twin Towers.
Oh, I probably did say that.
And I was
probably did say that.
because I didn't hear Lord of the Rings, so I just heard
No,
you
no.
say Twin Towers. I was like,
Twin
I heard
Towers,
"What
they
the fuck
blew
game
up.
were you playing?"
They
I
blew
heard-
up. It may or may have not been a
Yeah, I heard the same thing. I heard Xbox Twin
Uh,
Towers. I'm like,
if
what
you
is
guys
he
like
doing?
conspiracy theories, come check out Aliens and
Yeah, drop a link.
Conspiracy. But yeah, no. 2 Towers. Sorry, I'm getting my fandoms mixed up right here. But let's bring it back. Come on, 2 Towers.
Yeah,
on the
absolutely. So my big
Fantastic
one
game.
was Return of the King. So that's the one. So when I got into video games basically in 03, I think it was 02 or 03. And my siblings and I had been well behaved for several months. And my parents decided to reward us with a Xbox. Or
Yeah.
well, with a console. And I wanted a PlayStation because I wanted to play Ratchet and Clank. And
Ratchet and Clank. So good.
yeah. And
So
my brother and sister said, well, we want an Xbox. I think my sister just said that because my brother said it.
Yeah.
So we all pulled our money. I had the most money. So it was like 80% mine and 20% theirs. So there were definitely times I was able to go, it's my Xbox. Get the fuck off. But we got 3 games that night. We got a Pac-Man game because my sister wanted a Pac-Man game. Conflict Desert Storm and Lord of the Rings Return of the King. And the Return of the King game, I played so much with my brother. I was always Legolas because Legolas was the best. And he was Aragorn.
Okay.
Of course.
Let me pause there. With the hobbits and the elvish swords you got in
Yeah.
I was gonna say Twin Towers again. In 2 Towers. Tell me that wasn't fun gameplay. Like you could fucking hack and slash with them all day long.
And then playing as Gandalf was a lot of fun too.
Yes.
But what's so crazy about that is there's another great example of an IP you just left to rot. I mean, we've got the Moria game that came out this year. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play it.
I was about to say, is that like the
Moria
Dwarf mobile game or whatever that came out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It looks kind of like Minecraft. You've got this Hobbit game coming out next year. And then and Gollum. Before those 3 games, all that there was the 2 Shadow of Mordor games,
which were fun.
Purist, they were fun, terrible story. Like not what the story should have been at all.
Sure.
Still a lot of fun. Also,
I'll agree with you.
I was 14. I didn't know what critical thinking versus Tolkien was. So
I'll agree with you, but
different.
I'm not gonna lie. Like running up on an orc as Celebrimbor and fucking jail style, jail
Shadow
style.
of Mordor was something else. That
I
game
mean,
was
it was.
great.
You can't deny that game was
the
fun.
first upgrade every single time is the ghost arrows.
No,
every time.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Caleb, but that game doesn't take it seriously, and it does say that it's not canon to the story.
Yeah,
right?
I think there's a statement at the beginning that's basically like, by the way, this is not what Tolkien wrote, but we really wanted to make this game, and we hope you like it.
Well, and I would argue it's probably better than Rings of Power. I'm gonna argue.
So this is what's funny. I actually saw
this
argument
very
on
low
Twitter.
fucking bar.
Yeah. So
but I have to say it, right?
I saw this
It's
argument
true.
on Twitter, and I thought, this is a pretty good argument, because you take some of the stuff they do in Shadows of Mordor, and it's like, this is shit compared to what the story is. Like, this is like the hot Shelob. Like, what the fuck is that? But then you compare it to things they do in Rings of Power, and it's like, wow, maybe that wasn't so bad.
This is more shit.
yeah. It's just like, would I rather eat a pound of shit or 3 pounds of shit?
Or 1 bite, right?
Like it's, it is, MASH is right. It is better than Rings of Power. But Rings of
at
Power
least you can find some level of enjoyment in the Shadow of Mordor.
And it starts off saying it's
okay, Chris.
What did he say?
Earlier he said the game was all about decapitating groups of zombies single-handedly, and then he said orcs, not zombies. I'm a fucking retard.
Yeah.
Now you're good. Okay,
no,
I mean,
it honestly was though, because I fucking enjoyed that. Like you're massacring hordes. But
yeah. So and look, I know the answer to this, but it is ridiculous that we don't have a remaster of that game. We get remasters of all these games. And the one game, look, EA would make a fortune. Now, why doesn't EA do it? Well, because they don't have the rights to do it. They can't remaster a game because they don't have the rights to Lord of the Rings anymore. But they should call Embracer and say, hey, we'll give you a 60-40 split.
So Caleb, tell me if you disagree. It is Shadows of Mordor, or yeah, that is the game, right?
It's so there's two. There's Shadow of Mordor and then War of Mordor.
Yes,
Shadow of War.
Shadow of War.
Tell me that's not the equivalent to Force Unleashed, because I think it is. It's like it's this kind of like really fun OP game. You're like crazy strong, fucking up people in that world, but like it's not canon. Don't take it seriously.
It absolutely breaks canon if you try to consider it part of the mainline story.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you pull down a full on what's it called?
Star Destroyer.
Yeah, Star Destroyer. So it's like
that's one of the best scenes in a Star Wars game ever, though.
It is, but you can't argue it breaks canon. The guy is fucking way overpowered. Like, you can't really take it seriously. But if you go into the game thinking like, okay, don't take it seriously, it's not canon. You're like, this is the most like you're a living character in that world. That's how I view it, at least.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair assessment. That and what's kind of interesting is you've got 2 games that are kind of in the same realm of what they mean to that fandom and the story overall, but you can see where the growth in the industry is in Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. compared to Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Is you got Force Unleashed 1 and 2 that are very linear in their story play and was as good as a game could get in 05. And then you've got Shadow of War, which comes out in 17.
Look,
and it's significantly better, but it should be. It's 12 years older. It should be better.
Please correct me, but I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was playing the first one, like Celebrimbor, is that correct?
Yep, Celebrimbor.
Yeah. Like watching him being like you get the Wraith powers, I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like I really connected to it. I was like, this is sick. You know, you get to play as the shadow, right? Of the, you know, in the gameplay wise, you know, and then playing as Celebrimbor, like, look, I thought it was dope, but I don't know the lore enough to like know what was wrong with the story when being played. I thought it was a fucking fun game, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that did the same thing with Force Unleashed, because with Star Wars, that is my wheelhouse. So like, I do understand Star Wars enough to be like, this is wrong, like this doesn't make sense. But with Shadows of War, I'm like, or the first installment, I'm like, okay, this, you know, like this is just fun. Like I'm running around fucking orcs up, riding, you know, riding trolls. Like I was like, this is awesome, you know. But I could be sounding like a total retard right now.
No. Look, I think it's a very fair assessment. Sorry, I'm just waiting for your cat to.
I was going to say the same thing. The cat looks like it's up to some mischief. No, I was going to say about the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. Into the cooking pot with you.
What?
Oh,
I said into the cooking pot with you.
You just grabbed by the neck and just chucked it over there.
Yeah. Dude, he's a piece of shit. He can handle. He's fine. He still loves me. It's all good.
What I will say about the Lord of the War of Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games is, as fun as they were, it's still annoying to get into the conversation with Rolo about whether Helm Hammerhand was a ring wraith or not.
Well, he wasn't.
I know. I'm like, isn't that like way too late in the story?
Actually, to be really honest about it, we don't know. We don't know who the 9 ring wraiths are.
Well, I'll tell you this, Crimson.
Sure, but highly unlikely.
My ex-girlfriends used to call me Helm Hammerhand. So
you know what's so funny about that is when we find out why he's called Helm Hammerhand, I'm gonna play him that. And he's not gonna look too good.
I'm sorry.
Is this because of domestic abuse or because you were lonely? Is that what
That's what I'm thinking?
I mean, we'll wait. We'll wait till War of Rohirrim comes out, and then we'll answer.
Prosecution would like to introduce People's Exhibit 1, a statement made by the accused on a friend's live stream.
Okay.
Entered into evidence.
Wait, Chris question: did anyone finish Shadows of War? I did, but I didn't. I don't remember the
I watched the ending. I know how it ends. But no, I never actually finished it.
I'll be entirely honest. I played like maybe the first quarter of that game and then dropped it.
It was still fun though. I mean, the gameplay, they do a good job with the gameplay.
I'll tell you why. This is a thing that happens with happened with a lot of games pre-2000, because a new game came out. That's why people dropped Shadows of War, because something else came out. Let's see. In fact, Shadows of War, because I want to make sure 2017 was the right year. 2017. So 2017 video games. Wow, that was the year Origins came out. Definitely didn't drop it for that.
Dude, Origins, we've talked about this, or I liked Origins more than Revelations, was it? No. What was the one after that? Odyssey. Yeah. I liked Origins more, and I'm pretty sure King Chris is gonna agree.
Okay, so oh, look at that. Dishonored came out in September 15th of that year. So Shadow of War, Windows, PS4, and Xbox, October 10th. And then
Star Wars Dog.
Here it is.
Oh.
Destiny 2 came out October 24th.
That would have been what I was playing
you
at
see
that
Jim's
time.
comment? He goes, I like black men.
That is hilarious.
Clip that.
Just a clip of Daimyo saying, I like black men.
No, that's not what I meant to clip. God damn it, Crimson.
Well, I said it too, so now Ronnie's going to get us both.
Yeah.
What I did was I just took a screenshot of his, because I love that they're back to back.
Shit.
So, Star Wars Dog,
then,
could you explain to me what Flagman is? It took you so long.
Oh my god, that was terrible. That took me a second. Oh, also in November, Battlefront 2 came out as well. So that's that. Again, we've got 3 or 4 huge games that came out within a month and a half.
Yeah, I definitely played those 2 particularly. So there was a point in time
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people love the Yakuza games. And oh, that's for the iPhone. Never mind. I forgot they did that.
Diablo.
Civilization 6.
Oh.
They made it so you could play it on the iPhone, which actually is one of the rare times that it was actually cool to be able to play a game on my iPhone. Is it?
What? You're not a Genshin Impact fan?
No. My understanding is that's basically just porn. So. Is it not?
No, it's a gotcha game. It's not porn.
Is it not?
No. Oh boy.
But something tells me that the Supreme Court might decide differently.
I haven't actually looked at the game. I know a couple of people who play it or have played it. I don't think there's anything suggestive in it at all.
Really?
I think the fandom is just a bunch of degenerate artists.
Well,
there's also the issue with a high concentration of PDF files playing the game. That's another thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
I didn't say the actual word. I said something else.
So I appreciate that. Okay, well, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I think this is probably the beginning of a much longer conversation. I think there's some more stuff that I kind of want to research and dive deeper into. Maybe whether it's more of these companies or trying to figure out just how we go from a year like this to the shit state that we're in now. You know, obviously part of it is the standard of care and what people believe to be important, whether it's BlackRock or the coders, but there's definitely, I think, more discussion to be had around the state of affairs we're in when it comes to video games.
Well, I think it's similar to the entertainment business, right? It's like who's funding these productions. You know, it really comes down to that. When it comes to studios, you know, for games that we've talked about before, when you see a falling out with fan base to production, I think that comes down to just who's paying for it, what they want to push, and what the people paying for it do push. Look, I still hold out hope, right? Like for even things like Call of Duty, you know, like for zombies. I think we still get good games.
Thanks, man.
You know.
Yeah, well, and the only pushback I'll give to Mash here, because he's totally right. There are indie games that, I mean, even though it was distributed by Sony, Helldivers 2 is still an indie game. So there is so much future in indie games. The problem is when these studios take the money and they don't pay attention to the contract, they don't pay attention to what the studios, what Microsoft or Sony is going to require them to do, and then you end up killing your game, whether it's doing what Arrowhead did with the whole PSN thing, or Microsoft, where they buy up, 12 different indie studios, say we'll give you $100,000 for your games rights, and then they kill the studio 3 months after the game comes out.
Well, they take the money and they run. You know, they're like,
the whole. And then the other problem I have, I've said this a bunch of times, I'm really sick and tired of every single showcase for everyone's studios being, here's our one AAA game, here's 15 different top-down games, and then here's 7 JRPGs. I'm getting tired of it. I'm so tired of Japanese RPGs. How many times can you reinvent Final Fantasy?
Well, you know who, that's a direct shot to Crimson. I'm pretty sure he loves those type of games.
The only one I've consistently played is Pokemon. I was gonna say, like, I actually don't play JRPGs. I mean, I have a couple on my list that I'm going to play, but no, you'd be surprised. I'm actually more of a looter shooter person.
Well,
there you go, Borderlands.
Crimson, I was gonna say, like, I don't mean to take shots at you. You had talked about Monster Hunters, and so that's why.
Yeah, there's another one that I do actually.
I was gonna say, because Monster
I don't know
Hunters
if that counts as a JRPG. Though.
A JRPG is
like turn-based combat,
and it's
kind of stuff, right?
It's
okay, I got that
wrong. But before we go, Crimson, let's start with you. What do you got coming out?
Well, instead of joining this stream, what I should have done is gone and record the B-roll for my next video, but I didn't. I decided to hang out here, and that will be going up on my channel at Crimson Law on Saturdays. I talk a bunch of shit. And if
Daimyo wants to share that link, please. Or Crimson Law. I don't think I have a restriction on links.
Maybe. We'll see. Either way, I have my lives that I do every Saturday to just kind of go over stuff. Probably not something that a lot of people here would want to really talk about, but I'm going over like the end of summer anime season and moving into fall and all the stuff that's going to be releasing then. Doing a whole review of that. Otherwise, I mean, Crimson Law, Crimson Live, that's where I do all of my content. Or you can just watch me scream into the void on Twitter at Crimson Lawson.
Crimson Law link in the chat.
And Daimyo, or should I say Aliens and Conspiracy?
Yeah. No, it's Alien. It's the Gatekeepers Daimyo at Aliens Conspiracy channel. Look, I'm doing wild stuff, not past what this is. Like, nothing pop culture, if that's what you're here for. But if you like alien and conspiracy theory videos, come check us out. King Chris, who's been in the chat, we've been recording a lot. That's about all I got to plug.
And Star Wars Dog coming in hot with the links.
Well, I did post a link to Crimson
Mhm.
Law too.
Everyone, thank you so much, Crimson and Daimyo and X-Wing earlier. Thank you all for coming on.
Yeah, this was fun.
Star Wars Dog, thank you so much for the memberships. Everyone have a great night. Friday's coming here, and then the weekend.
Yes, sir.